I got a great response from the last Piecing It Together, so I'm going to keep it going. Here's Piecing It Together number 11, Good versus Evil, Truth versus Lies. And as you will see, the Russian embassy versus the US embassy, and they both have radically different opinions. And as you all have noticed, the informative cognitive dissonance is at a level that we've never really seen before. Everybody has a different story and a different thought about what is going on, whether it's the embassies, the politicians, the civilians, everyone, every TV station, every broadcaster. So many people have an interesting perspective on what is going on, and it seems like a lot of the people that are listening to the mainstream media have most definitely got it wrong again, which they always do, which is really sick, because one way to figure out the truth is to basically do the opposite of what the US government, the big tech, the new TV stations, all of them tell you to do. So I want you all to think for yourself here and read these two contrasting embassy reports. So here we go. I'm going to start with the Embassy of the Russian Federation in Canada, March 1st, 2022. Russia continues its special military operation to demilitarize and denazify Ukraine. The Russian army does not occupy Ukrainian territory and takes all measures to preserve the lives and safety of civilians. The strikes are targeting military facilities only, being carried out exclusively with high-precision weapons. We are witnessing an unprecedented wave of lies, fake news, distorted and fabricated facts aimed at discrediting our action. Goebbels-style Western propaganda was predictable. It cannot be trusted. The public in Canada should understand that. The truth is different. Crimes against humanity and violations of international humanitarian law are committed by the armed forces of Ukraine and such neo-Nazi groups as Azov, Right Sector, and others. The multiple evidence is available in open sources. The Ukrainian side is deploying multiple launch rocket systems and artillery in the courtyards of residential buildings, hospitals, schools, and kindergartens. The armed forces of Ukraine, nationalist and neo-Nazi groups, use civilian infrastructure and population as human shields. It is essential to understand the rationale behind these actions. The Ukrainian authorities and its Western patrons are committing monstrous and inhuman provocations in order to put all the blame on Russia. In fact, the full responsibility for the destruction and innocent victims' lives with the regime in Kiev. The Russian army is fighting neither Ukraine nor the Ukrainians. The task to clear Ukraine of Nazism and to demilitarize it will be accomplished. Those responsible for genocide, an 8-years-long war started by Kiev against its own people, silently watched and frequently encouraged by the West, will be brought to justice. Russia is not starting wars. Russia is ending them. And that sounds pretty familiar and kind of seems to back up all the things that we would think. Because none of us that are on this channel trust the media at all. None of us trust our government, that's hijacked the vote of the people. We don't trust anything that the TV has said for at least our entire lives or several decades. And they are continuing to brainwash the public and people we love. And it's nuts. So here we go. Let's check out the contrasting views of the United States Embassy. And let's see if we can figure out which one is more accurate. Statement by the President on the United Nations General Assembly vote condemning Russia's aggression against Ukraine. March 2nd. Today, for the first time in 40 years, the United Nations Security Council convened an emergency special session of the General Assembly under the Uniting for Peace mechanism in response to Russia's unprovoked, unjustified, and unconscionable war on Ukraine. This extraordinary move by the United Nations demonstrates the extent of global outrage at Russia's horrific assault on a sovereign neighbor and showcased unprecedented global unity. An overwhelming majority of nations around the world condemn Putin's war. An overwhelming majority of nations recognize that Putin is not only attacking Ukraine, he is attacking the very foundations of global peace and security, and everything the United Nations stands for. An overwhelming majority of the world recognizes that if we do not stand up to Putin's Russia, it will only inflict further chaos and aggression on the world. Russia stood isolated with the support of only 4 brutal authoritarian states. I commend the member states of the United Nations for holding this historic session. Today's vote lays bare Putin's isolation. It also holds Belarus accountable for its unacceptable involvement in this war. The world is rejecting Russia's lies. We can all see what is happening in Ukraine with our own eyes. Russia is responsible for the devastating abuses of human rights in the international humanitarian crisis that we are watching unfold in Ukraine in real time. There is no room for excuses or equivocation. Russia is to blame. The United Nations was founded to, quote, save succeeding generations from the scourge of war. As Secretary General Antonio Guterres said, enough is enough. Together we must and we will hold Russia accountable for its actions. We will demonstrate that freedom always triumphs over tyranny. Jesus. So, those are two radically different opinions. One is from Russia, a country that kind of believes in God and really has a kind of respect for their holy places. They jail liberal bands like Tag Riot that do desecrate, and whenever a model or a liberal moron tries to get some popularity on whatever by posing naked or doing something desecrating to a church, they call it out. They have respect. In Europe and America, they are destroying churches. They are burning them. People are burning them down all over the place, Notre Dame, and they want God done. That's why all the entertainment in the West is godless. That's why all the music is godless. That's why all the people on TV are godless, robot monkeys that do whatever they're told. They are pathetic. And Vladimir Putin bans fake news. CNN immediately stops broadcasting in the country. Is that a bad thing? Kind of curious. And he's also siding with India, and the people of India always have an amazing take on world views. They're on the same side. Biden's not. Pelosi's not. All these scumbags that we know, George Bush, these war pigs, these people who just can't wait to get the next paycheck for killing innocent people around the world, are just hungry for another war, and they cannot stop. They cannot satiate themselves with this evil. It is disgusting. It is vile. And I hope, I'm not going to say that I stand with Putin because I only stand with we the people. That is it. But if Putin is doing this, and he proclaims to stand for we the people, and he's taking out labs, he's taking out bioweapons, he's taking out corruption, he's taking out commies, he's taking out neo-Nazis, he's taking out the filth that invaded Ukraine under Obama and Biden, and he's taking out the corruption that they have let happen and encouraged and profited from. And if that is happening, then go Putin, go Russia. You have the support of we the people. And the brainwashed morons will get it someday, but enough waiting for them. How anyone can jump from one incredible fear to the next so quickly by people that are so untrustworthy is beyond me. But imagine if we followed suit in America and we banned Facebook, we banned Twitter, we banned people from saying things. We just even threatened people that if they produce something on the news and publish something, kind of like yelling fire in a crowded place, if you do something that leads the masses to psychological impairment, leads them to make decisions that are terrible for them and that harm them, then you should be arrested, especially if you know, and you have emails proving that you knew all along how nasty something was that you promoted. All these people, it's actually turning out that Biden gave, and the government used millions of dollars of our taxpayer money in order to bribe companies to continue to push the vaccine. And now all of a sudden, where is it? Stockpiles are drying up, they're dying, the plague is gone. The non-existent cold plague is gone. And people are still just jumping onto the next fear and lining up like it's so easy for the news. If we had a world where people were threatened, news journalists were threatened that if you publish something terrible and catastrophic to humanity, you will be punished, the world would change overnight. CNN, all these companies would go bankrupt. No one would ever listen to them. People like us would rise. The truth is unstoppable. It cannot be taken down by lies. Absolutely not. It always rises to the surface and makes things better. And that's what will happen. That's what Russia's trying to do. I support that. I hope the entire world does. Eliminate fake news, eliminate Nazis, eliminate all this crap. We deserve better. Bless you all. And in case you were wondering, this incredible artwork right here is by an artist named Franz Frickin from around the 1500s, I-500s, 600s, whatever. And it is an amazing artwork. Bottom hell, top earth. The man's choosing between virtue and vice. And this is a drawing that I will let you know I am recreating in a very beautiful way. a lot of symbolism is going to be found within it, and I have two different visions of this battle of good versus evil that are coming your way, so stay tuned.